Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, dude, I just got such an important text.
Oh no, did you really?
Hold on.
Do we have to stop? Oh
No,
no.
it's okay. Let me just say, oh man, Jesus.
Oh no. See, this is welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe
Wait,
not.
no, I'm here. It's
He's
okay.
here.
No, and I wanted to start the show with something stupid, and I got distracted.
We did. The whole show is stupid already. You don't have to worry about the
Okay,
show being stupid.
listen.
That's what we do best, you know?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I was checking our audio.
Oh, okay.
Dude, they call the candy bar Baby Ruth, but like that isn't that candy like 60 years old? There's no way she's still a baby.
That's what you wanted to start the show with, and you got upset?
Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah, it
to
was
start
really
the
important.
show like that.
Well, it's not as funny. It's funny when I do it cold and you're like, all right, we started. Let's talk about video games. And then I go, here's the thing about Baby Ruth.
Oh, jeez. Oh my god. Oh,
thing
Andy.
is,
I'm a
what?
squid.
My name's
We're
Andy.
spoiling the end of Bloodborne right from the jump.
No, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh,
Because I thought this was just advance to New Game Plus, and I forgot that apparently it's got to play the cutscene. I hope it plays the credits.
Here's
Tur?
the thing.
I said Tur. What happened?
This is technically a spoiler, but let's face it, like nobody
it's
on
indecipherable
Earth
without context.
Yeah,
completely
even if
indecipherable.
you played it, like
yeah, I was gonna say arguably
that could be the first cutscene, and it would mean the same to me.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone, that was Bloodborne. We did it. We beat the whole game together. Oh, what a psychotic episode. We're 2.5 minutes in. Nothing's right. This is Cryptic Puzzle. We're figuring it out. That's how it works. He already said he's Andy. I guess I'll say I'm Tommy.
Okay, wait, this is actually going to mess you up. Today, we're talking about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
You can't. No, we played that game, but we can't switch it. You can't switch it on me now.
No, I know. It's just funny because that was the most recent thing on our docket for like a good maybe month, and then I picked up Bloodborne and we just kind of skipped. We just kind of went right over it, but I just wanted to say it.
We can still do a Rift Apart episode if you're up to it, but once you started playing Bloodborne, I was like, all right, Andy got back on the FromSoft train and back to one of my all-time favorites. Bloodborne, I mean, we did two really long episodes on Elden Ring. Bloodborne is my other favorite. It's real good. I mean, we could. Because you hadn't played Shadow of the Erd Tree yet. So we, in theory, could do a retrospective.
Okay, wait. Before we go down that rabbit hole, I just want to say quickly, I'm excited to talk about Ratchet and Clank at some point, but, like, I don't know like, maybe you'll have more to say, but, like, thinking back on that game, which I beat over a month ago now, or about a month ago, I'm just like, it was just a fine AAA game. Like, I don't know how much more interesting I can say about that game, you know?
I would love to talk about the other Ratchet and Clank games in general, if you do ever play them. I love the original.
Are they on, like...
No, it
stinks.
Steam
or something?
They're, no, you'd have to, yeah, that's kind of the problem, you know? I don't really, yeah. It's too hard to play the original trilogy for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll talk about maybe why I decided to play Bloodborne, but maybe you first should talk about like more why it's your favorite or your history with this game specifically.
Yeah, so Bloodborne's actually kind of the reason that I ended up getting into FromSoft games to begin with. Oh, I thought the game crashed. That would have been pretty funny. I was expecting it to, but you know. Anyway, yeah, it was. So I didn't even own a PS4 when Bloodborne was out. I didn't get one till about 2018 myself, but one of my roommates at the time had a PS4, and he had bought Bloodborne and just didn't get into it. Like he had bounced off basically every FromSoft game he ever tried. But it was in the house, so I was like, I'm gonna give Bloodborne a go, and I kind of didn't fully understand it at first, and but I was like, I feel like I kind of understand better what they're trying to do here because I had bounced off Dark Souls 1 back in like 2012 or something like that, whenever the terrible PC release came out. Um, and so the more aggressive style of Bloodborne and the aesthetic and stuff, I was like, I think I kind of want to try and play this. And between this and Dark Souls 3, and a friend co-oping me through Dark Souls 3, that kind of got me into playing the FromSoft games. Then I went back and played Dark Souls 1, and then Elden Ring ruined my life, and then I ruined Andy's life with Elden Ring. It's just how all the
Yeah.
dominoes fall,
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like one of the things I haven't said as much or maybe ever on the show is like being a fan of the gamey grumpers. I've seen like huge playthroughs of Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne like a long, long time ago, like probably like 7 or 8 years ago now. And like I guess what's interesting to me thinking about it now is like I've like seen most of this game and most of Dark Souls 3 way before I had ever played them, and like they were never interesting to like I never was like, "Oh, that looks fun." Isn't that kind of weird?
I mean, it's hard because now I've been into all of this for so long. Um, but like I don't know, I find it hard to believe. Like I can maybe see not finding Dark Souls 3 as interesting on the front, but I feel like Bloodborne specifically, it kind of stands alone in its specific like aesthetic and everything. Also, here's a fun little thing. The very first note in the game, translation error. Instead of just handwritten scrawl, this is supposed to say scrawled in your own handwriting, which
Oh,
completely changes
it sure does.
the implication of what this is by a
Hold on a
lot.
second. Let me
Yeah.
check with my wife. The most Bloodborne thing ever just happened, which is a crying baby just walked into my house.
Oh no, that is the most Bloodborne thing that could happen. All right, I'm gonna run around in the beginning while you go check on. Yeah,
What's up?
yeah. Andy's being a good father.
Can you bring her back here? Can you bring her back? Oh yeah, we're gonna have a crying baby on
Oh,
our
we're gonna
Bloodborne
have
episode.
podcast baby. Oh my god,
This is canon.
we really are turning into Castle Super
Crying.
Beasts.
Oh my god.
Podcast
Oh, she's
baby.
screaming big time. Too.
Oh no.
Boy.
Aw. She didn't. She doesn't know what's going on. It's not her fault.
She's a pain in the neck.
Oh, that's okay. She doesn't know how to do things yet.
True.
It's not her fault.
It's true. Wow, of course
It's
we just
yours
started.
because you
this
haven't taught her.
It is my fault. I'm a terrible dad.
I just said you were a good father earlier. Oh boy.
Come here, you stinker. Oh, your podcast, baby.
Oh, the podcast
You gotta,
baby.
you gotta cry into the microphone.
Hello. Oh, the podcast baby. Yeah, here's the thing. It really is the most Bloodborne thing you could do right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give away too much, but beating the second to last boss of this game, this baby was in a bassinet crying while I did it, which I
Oh,
feel like is the
wow.
most. Yeah, did I not tell you that? I was like, I'm
no,
never
I
gonna forget
didn't
that.
know those were happening simultaneously. Oh, geez. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I
So
put her down. She wasn't crying; she was chilling. But putting her there while I fought that boss was literal insanity.
yeah, that is pretty bonkers, actually. Well, anyway, so we our character here just kind of came to this place called Yarnum, apparently looking for some kind of healing because they heard that blood ministration in Yarnum cures things, and now we're here. And I've got a whole bunch of gear because this is New Game Plus. So, I already have a pretty fully decked out hunter at this point. I'm also
Yeah, why is your
really.
outfit so cool?
This is
Is
the
it
night.
good?
Yeah, this is the knight uniform, but only for the female character. It is a completely different. This is my favorite outfit in all of Souls. Like everything they've
pretty
ever
cool.
done. Yeah, I love it. It's very good. And I got the burial blade.
Yeah. So yeah, this game's a horror show.
Yeah, quite literally.
What weapon is that?
Nothing good happens. Yeah, the burial blade. This is you get this after you beat the final boss. Or you get the ability to get it once you beat the final boss.
What? It looks cool. I want. How come I didn't get it? Where do you get it?
You did. You got to buy it from the shop.
Really?
You know, every single time you get one of those things that says like badge or whatever,
Yo, what?
that adds stuff
Are
to
you
the
for
shop.
real?
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Yeah, so you probably only saw like half the weapons.
I looked. Yeah, I looked about halfway through it and realized there were weapons, and
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that until like halfway through my first playthrough, and then I never looked again.
Yeah. Well, I gotta.
Yo,
Here,
what a cool weapon!
I'm gonna show you some fun stuff later. Yeah, it's very cool because you just take the scythe blade off and then use it as a curved sword kind of thing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's very good, and then tricks into that. So yeah, that's the other cool thing about Bloodborne that I wish they had brought back in the Elden Ring DLC. I was really hoping. Trick weapons. There's no two-handing. Basically, every weapon's a unique thing that when you hit L1 will change into a different form with a different moveset. And also, you can do that in the middle of a combo with a transform attack, and it will do an attack that turns it into the other form. And it's the coolest thing they ever did in any video game that's ever existed.
Yeah, I always wish I spent more time doing like the transform moves and stuff, but I always liked the one form better than the other. But it is cool. It's very much like the swags from Monster Hunter.
Yeah, but it's every weapon, you know, which is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing.
And even the most simple transformations are still a different moveset change. Like, you know, situation dependent. Like not every weapon's transform is a two-handed thing. Like when you have a two-handed thing, if you hit L2, instead of using your left-hand weapon, you get a new move, which is cool. Yeah, that's the other thing. There's guns. And they're not really for doing damage. They're for parrying. All right, let's light this lamp. Yeah.
Can you hear this baby on this stream?
Well, if it's coming through the microphone, yeah. You're still louder than her, though. So.
Oh.
But you know what's good? You know what's crazy? Baby sounds in a Bloodborne stream. Absolutely diabolical.
I know.
I say hello to the
Oh,
baby.
I gotta get a mic stand or something for this chick.
He's like, the baby needs
I gotta
a dedicated microphone for the baby.
Bruh. No, not for the. Chick is stressing me out.
Feed your child. Feed your child.
I need to get a mic stand first.
Oh, just don't talk for a while. It's okay. You know, I'll just shout. You know, that won't distress her in the least. Anyway, so how did I can't tell if he's there or not anymore. Hello? All right. Well, we're going to ask Andy about his feelings on parenthood a little bit more, especially because, weirdly enough, there's lots of parental and familial themes in Bloodborne, which is not what you'd normally think to expect from this kind of game, or a horror game, I guess. At least not the kind of horror I normally watch. I'm also not normally a horror guy. Bloodborne is very much in my exceptions. It's the goopiest, gory horror thing that I like, probably, because I'm not really into that. I'm not into it because of that here. It just happens to be gory and it's good. Aesthetically, it really hits a lot of these Victorian werewolf type vibes in these early areas, and later on, it changes a bit. Which is cool. Also, that's a parry, and that's how critical attacks work now. If you hit them with a bullet as they're attacking you, kind of at the same time when an enemy be swinging at you, like in Dark Souls where you do a shield parry, you hit them with a bullet, they drop to one knee, you reach inside them and pull, I don't know, something out, I guess. I don't know what that is. But yeah, so it's I don't want to spoil too much too soon, and eventually Andy is going to come back once the child has been fed. There's an item over here. Oh, it was Pebble. I dropped it. Anyway. I want to talk about this specific area with Andy because he's insistent that this would not have walled a new person before. But you know...
Are you that outside?
Hmm.
Well, sorry, but I don't want anything to do with you. Trot along, will ya?
The people here are not particularly friendly, unfortunately. We are on a night of the hunt, which is not really described. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think I fully have it understood after playing this game for a whole bunch of years. And I played through it probably 7 or 8 times prior to this playthrough that I just did with Andy. Him saying that he was playing Bloodborne made me realize that I'm not burnt out on Souls games. I'm just currently not in a mood to play anything that I'm not already familiar with, because the moment he was like, hey, we should play Bloodborne for the show, I was like, okay, sure. Let me just get on a new character. And I did it, and I didn't think less of it at all, because this game is absolutely incredible. The other major thing that's different that I haven't really talked about is the movement. So when you lock onto an enemy, it changes your dodge. So roll is classic. I think this is very much like a light roll in regular Dark Souls right now, or a more traditional Souls game. But if you lock onto an enemy, you get this cool dash that is quicker. I think it's got a higher fraction of iframes throughout its animation, and it moves very far and very fast and has a lot less recovery. So despite the fact that you have like dodge attacks that normally help you out of those situations, you are just a much more mobile, capable player. So it's a very different combat style than your typical Souls game is, which I say different in focus. Fundamentally, you're still moving around and locking on and dodging attacks and countering, but because you're not focusing on defense and you have so much going on offensively and being able to move, the whole game is designed around being aggressive. I should get smacked in the face one more time, because there's another thing that once again rewards being aggressive. There you are. He didn't even hit me. Oh my gosh. Come on. One more. There we go. So that orange health that shows up after you get hit, that's the rally mechanic. So if you attack an enemy after they've hit you, you have a brief amount of time where if you hit them back, you will get some portion of that health back, which is really cool. That little orange bar of opportunity, I guess, does not stay there for very long, so you got to get in real quick right after you just got smacked, which, you know, that's not always going to work out, but you are encouraged to do it, whereas in pretty much any other scenario, normally by the time you've gotten hit, you either want to get out or do something other than probably actively attack. And the other way to do viscerals is to do fully charged heavy attacks to the back. This is also the game that introduced charged R2s, or right trigger, or whatever, charged heavies, whatever your preference is, and console. They've been using that ever since, which is cool. Bloodborne lives in this weird space of the main team made Dark Souls 1 and then started working on this with Hidetaka Miyazaki, and another team went to make Dark Souls 2. And so despite there being 4 years between Dark Souls 1 and 2, or sorry, between Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne, Dark Souls 2 coming out in, I think, the year prior to Bloodborne, something like that, it weirdly doesn't learn some lessons from the other games that it definitely could have by now, which, you know, that's strange idiosyncrasy of the way that From Software designs their games. We found a baby. The baby's
I'm back with a mic stand.
He's back with a baby and a mic stand. All right,
So-
I somehow managed to hold it down for a little while. And you know what's really funny? I got really distracted by you starting to talk, and this section that I was about to like completely stomp through almost got me. Because I stopped paying attention and I got hit with multiple bullets.
You got too cocky, dude.
I did, and I got hit with multiple bullets like that.
Yeah, they'll get you, bro.
They will.
Uh-oh. You better heal, bro.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Um, yeah, so this game's cool. What were we/you talking about?
I was just talking about kind of some of the mechanics and stuff, what makes it new and different. I didn't get to blood vials or anything. I talked about the rally mechanic. Yeah, you can just start talking if you want. You don't have to. You can continue
Yeah.
to take care of your child. If you need
My
to.
child is a brat, dude.
That's okay.
She won't take the bottle. It's not okay. I don't want to raise a brat.
I mean,
Ew.
she's got a little bit to figure it out, you know.
I hope when she's 25 she hears this and goes, That's what I sound.
That's what I sounded like a crying baby. Are you for real?
Back in the 90s when we were kids, you couldn't. I mean, you could, but like no one would hear it.
That's true.
No one would hear you as a baby.
Yeah, no one could ever do that. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do that with like camcorders and stuff back then, but like that would require you to go and get like the physical tape and put it into a thing and then hook up that whole thing to like a television through like
Yeah.
a coax cable. Did you know that if
Summon?
you had
I did. I
Insight-
found it.
Okay, yeah.
I found him on New Game Plus, and I didn't summon him. But like, do you have to fight him, or does he fight with you?
No, so these are summons just like any other summon, and it just costs 1 insight to do it. So if you have no insight, you just won't see these. You know?
But he'll fight with you.
Yeah. So if I summon him right now, why not?
Is there like a boss that he helps you fight, or he just helps you fight dudes?
No, just running around this area.
Wow, that's neat.
Yeah. So
Why?
this I think also was a for the person who just struggled with getting through here, or ran through because they decided that was how they were going to do it. If somehow they
Oh.
managed to get with insight, it's like, well, what if we gave that person like a little help, you know? I think they were really trying to like onboard people. Here's the thing, I love Central Yarnum as an intro area. I think it's one of the best intro areas in any video game. It's
pretty awesome.
It's so good. It's really well designed. It teaches you what you got to do. Here, we're gonna sneak up on this guy because he's not very smart.
Yeah, go
Watch.
get him. He's easy. He's easy. Go get him. He's trying to open that door, bruh. He said, "What?"
You know what's really funny? Gascoigne ruined my visceral.
Well, he's too good, bro.
He's too good. All right, he's gonna have to protect me from like dogs or something, you know. Anyway, how did you feel about Bloodborne, or what made you finally want to do it, other than me talking about how it was dope?
I don't know what. Like, I think my closest urge to Chickadee, relax. I think my closest, my biggest reason I can think of as to why I was in the mood for it was spooky season.
Yeah, it's a great spooky game.
It is. I think. Jesus Christ.
See, she's spooked just by the concept, you know, and just what it is. I would be too.
I think-
she sees.
I think-
she sees the eldritch truths, you know.
I think seeing as much of this game as I did is, I think, like a lot of the reason I was put off by it for a long time is that even though, like, once I played Elden Ring, it was like maybe Bloodborne would be fun, is the theming, as cool as it is, like, for me, was so off-putting. Like, the horror theming and everything being dark and covered in blood.
Yeah.
It's like, that's one thing I really appreciate about Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3, and probably Dark Souls in general, I guess, is there's a lot of like very colorful areas. That's like very much my thing. Whereas this game is a bit dreary, but something about the horror of it all, sort of, I was drawn to it because it was like October, and I was like, nah, I'm in the mood for something with a bit of a spooky theme to it.
Yeah.
And I will say, for me, as cool as the theme is, that's still maybe the weakest part for me personally. Like, I think the gameplay is awesome, but like, this game is a little bit like straight up disgusting at many, many points.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I did mention before that Bloodborne's one of my favorite horror things, even though it's not normally kind of my it's the goopiest, goriest horror thing that I enjoy.
Yeah,
Which
same.
is to say, like, I've seen some really, really really brutal, far more realistic, gory horror stuff before. It's really not for me. But
Yeah,
but
same.
yeah, the horror appeal in Bloodborne, like that to me, it's all kind of dressing, and I think it all fits aesthetically and blah blah blah, and I think that's all awesome. I think it looks great. I think the art design is incredible. I'm with you on like the color thing, but like I also think it very much fits with, you know, what's going on here.
It
Um,
does. And I think I told you this, but I think maybe the biggest reason the theming really works for me is like as someone who's not never been like an inherently like I love Dark Souls type of thing is like when you play Dark Souls and you're someone like me, there's a little bit of like like everything in the world is cool, but it almost feels like random and arbitrary. Like you're like, oh, there's a little diamond lizard boy that for some reason he gives you a thing that upgrades your sword. And if you like don't play Dark Souls, you might be like, well, like why? That almost just feels like a random arbitrary thing. But I never had that feeling in this game because every enemy and everything you see in the world is like so cohesive with the theming that
mhm.
like I could not that I got into the lore, but I could understand why people might click with the lore of these games a lot more because it everything does sort of seem to make sense.
It
I
it
don't want to say logically, that's not the right
Yeah,
word, but
here's the thing, it certainly doesn't logically, right? It's honestly
yeah.
kind of like it's a whole strength actually. It Yeah, I think it's a little bit more singular in its focus, right? On
Yeah.
almost every level, right? Like when I was
Yes.
saying with like the trick weapons, like so there's fewer weapons, right? But all the weapons are unique, and we don't have shields anymore. I have a gun parry, and there's a couple different guns, and there are some other projectile weapons that you can use and stuff, but it's really not intended to be the focus. You can do blood tinge is the stat for gun related stuff in this game. But you know, it's just all like, hey, what if we just kind of took the structure, like I'm still moving around and I'm still hitting B or circle to do dodge rolls, and I'm still hitting R1 to do my right hand swing and R2 to do my heavy swing. Like the controls are still kind of the same, but the specifics of what they do is focused and different enough that it completely changes kind of like the whole. I don't know. I'm trying to it. I don't know how to say because it's not like it's still fundamentally from soft design stuff, you know, but it's a different form of it, you know. I'm
Yeah.
really at a loss for how to better express that, I guess.
It
But
it
yeah.
like I think in terms of it being focused, I think that really like it really suits the game and it kind of suits all their games in the sense of like I mean I don't know like there are stats and there's leveling up in this game but it does feel like the entire aspect of build crafting that exists in like Elden Ring is I don't want to say non-existent but it's almost non-existent and it's extremely secondary like no matter what weapon you choose you really the play style for this game is pretty much singularly meant to be played one way and it kind of teaches you like what's fun about these games in general but like that eliminating all of the complications and just saying like well we know that the gun is going to be the parry and we know the R1 and the R2 are going to affect all of the enemies this way like there's no like oh poise and whatever like I mean there is but really 90% of players picking this up for the first time are going to play it the same way like that focus really aids the entire game in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree and disagree with you on like the like cuz you can actually I put it in my inventory specifically because I bet you probably didn't even try. So there's a stamina bar and everything too, but we don't have like an FP bar or whatever. We have quicksilver bullets, which both are for the gun, but there's these other tools. I'm assuming you never even used one of these one time, any of them.
What you mean items?
No, not like the consumables. I mean, like, so these tools, like, see, I have the old hunter bone right now. You probably found that pretty early, and then we're like, oh, can't use it, and then never used it. And
Yeah, those
then,
are items. I used some items.
well, yeah, well, so, but like, there's technically magic in this game, you know. So like,
Okay.
you can do a different build. You are definitely correct that those are more strange
Oh, sure. I did look
specific
at some of
things,
these.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But
The
yeah,
Abriatus thing. Yeah.
but I do agree with you in like, yeah, you are kind of expected to be like, I'm gonna pick the weapon I like and I'm gonna swing that at the guys, and I'm gonna pick the gun that I like and I'm gonna shoot that at the
But
guys,
even then,
you
like the
know.
auger of Aegisthus, like those types of weapons, there's so few and they're so specific that they're meant to like supplement. They're supposed to be a cool item that you would find and be like, I might add this to my arsenal for this situation. Whereas like in a game like Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3, there's so much stuff you're gonna find that it's I don't want to say overwhelming, but it's harder to like try out stuff and add it. Whereas in this game, again, everything feels like so singular. It feels like so purpose built to be played in a specific way. To me,
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that's kind of the point on some level. Oh, I completely forgot to talk to this lady the first or the last playthrough. Um,
yep, there she is.
yeah, I don't know of any safe places yet, so I can't say anything to her. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? I just remembered I was gonna do. I was gonna ask you something about like, hey, did you know this was here? Cause oh, I ran the wrong way. You probably. I have no
Is it
idea.
Ladyboy?
Well, I have no idea what your level of interaction with NPCs was in either of your playthroughs
Oh, you
because
talk about the guy right by the first lamp.
yeah, I was like, did you did you find Gilbert here?
Yeah,
Because
and he comes back later as a bad boy.
yeah, because once everything changes, he succumbs and yeah,
He
so
becomes a bad boy. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a neat little that's a neat little like simple piece of world building they do. It's pretty cool.
yeah,
I didn't realize his name was Gilbert,
yeah, he just said it like a second ago. Yeah,
like the Office comic.
I hear yeah, sure, I guess.
um all right, look. So I've got some things I like about this game, and I've got a list of grievances. My first
Oh
thing I
no,
like about this game, or I just want to say, is and look, I know you disagree with this, and it is legal to be wrong in this country, so that's fine. But
it's very
this
legal to be
game,
wrong here, unfortunately.
this, this game is straight up Dark Souls easy mode. I don't care what anybody says. I know I've played Elden Ring, that's fine, but this game is so much easier than the rest of the games. The entire economy and like the way your weapons hit enemies, especially in the early part of the game, is so unbelievably forgiving and meant to be like easier for the player. You get so many souls in this first area and from enemies in general. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely not scaled the way Elden Ring is, and I don't know if you realize how hard the pendulum swing from Elden Ring to this in terms of like all the specific aspects you're talking about. Yeah, it's Elden Ring is a huge game, so rune allocation in that game is spread out way more. Bloodborne is a
Yeah.
much more concise game in general. Like I have played so much Elden Ring and it has been so long since I played Bloodborne that I said to Andy that I thought the Old Hunters DLC was going to be like 10 hours, and then I played the base game and realized that 10 hours in I was like I would be done already if I didn't do all the extra stuff.
Yeah, I mean
I
the new
forgot
game
how
plus
much shorter Bloodborne is. It's
the new
crazy.
game the new game plus probably took me like 5 or 6 hours. It's like incredibly short once you know where you're going.
Yes, yeah, and that is kind of I think partially we were talking about the horror part. I guess it's less explicitly that this game is a horror game because it's definitely a horror game. And it's a few different kinds
Yes.
of horror and it's all my favorite kinds as I've now found really. But it's almost more like the mystery, I guess, of like what in the world is happening here and why
Yeah, it is
and what are we
it is like
doing.
it is very intriguing too that like I almost forgot this about Bloodborne, but in this first area, like you go and knock on all these doors, and there's like these regular people like having parties behind closed doors, like it's the purge or something. And that is like infinitely intriguing that you're in a world where there's like horrifying werewolf beasts everywhere. And like there's regular people inside like laughing at you, being like, "Yeah, we know this is like normal." Like that's so crazy.
It's weird because there's kind of like a variety of reactions. There's a bunch of people who are like, "Oh, I can't believe you're outside on a night of the hunt. Sucks to be you, haha." And then like the like weird laughing that you hear that is either a bunch of people who have gone crazy or partying. Kind of hard to tell, honestly. It's there's a whole
But
bunch of
all of
that.
it's
Yeah,
crazy either
it's
way.
all just like, yeah, what the heck? Why is everyone's seems to be clear that something weird is happening, and no one seems to be surprised. Like they're not cool with it, but they're not surprised that it's happening. So
Yes, like they all know it's like it's an expected like normalcy that this would happen, which is crazy.
yeah, and I don't really. I'm gonna be honest. It's never. I don't think it's ever really fully explained. I don't think
Yeah.
at any point have I ever been like, I fully understand Bloodborne. I still,
Um
going back through this, had a whole bunch of like, oh yeah, that's right, that is what happened, because I like forgot.
yeah. All right, moving on to thing number 2 that I really like that I can't believe isn't in the other games. Dedicated heal button that's different from an item button. Oh my god, is that like I was like, are you kidding me? Why is this the only one? And I get there's jump button in Elden Ring, whatever. But
Yeah.
like, dog, give me a dedicated heal button.
Here's the thing. I agree with you on that. A bunch of more recent games, especially the more Sekiro likes, up on the D-pad is now that dedicated button. Like a bunch of games have since learned from that.
The
Um,
D-pad, that's a terrible place to put the dedicated heal button.
uh,
I need my right hand to do it. I don't want to do it with my left hand. That's
y-
what moves my character.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. Uh, well, the other thing that I'll say, I'm gonna piggyback off of your good thing and then go. And the other part that they screwed up about the healing system is that it's not an Estus system. It is technically a consumable system, and the reason why that sucks is because you can, in theory, run out of healing, just like you could in Demon
I
Souls. Now, the thing
now
is, unless you're bad, you're not gonna. But the problem is, if you're bad, you need more healing. So it ends up, to me, it constructs a scenario that hurts bad players and doesn't really achieve anything else, you know? So I don't love it.
here's my take on it. I personally like it, at least in theory, because like one of the things that's sort of unspoken that I really love about Metroidvania games is like I love that feeling that as you go, you're constantly getting items and like especially healing, right? Like if you think about Super Metroid or any Metroidvania game in that style, I like that as you're going, you are getting health back and usually currency as well. So like everywhere you go, you feel like you're getting something worthwhile. And I actually really like in Yarnum this feeling that whenever you're killing enemies, like maybe one out of every I don't know 10 or something, you're getting healing items back. I actually really like the system and I found it like a fun addition. I just don't like that there are entire areas of the game where you just like never get any blood vials. And I think had they fixed that so that like every area had enemies that dropped blood vials and they were like pretty plentiful, then it would sort of accomplish this thing that's like it is kind of like fun to get blood vials and you get 20 of them instead of like 3 in Dark Souls.
Yeah, so the one tweak I would make, honestly, and so I'm playing a version of this game that's got a few tweaks that allowed me to not skip directly to New Game Plus, and also ones that just allow you to completely fill your stock of vials and bullets. I have
That's
never really.
perfectly legal, by the way.
Yeah,
Perfectly.
perfectly. And
Super
I've
legal.
I've never personally really had a need for that in Bloodborne. Like, I don't know, you've seen me stab myself for health like a handful of times this entire time, right? And enemies have been dropping blood vials too, right? Like I think these guys are about to drop me some blood vials. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not I it's not, oh, I would do it because I think it would make my experience better. I'm trying to figure out the person that this system hurts, and alleviate it. And I think is a very easy solution. Just make it so that by default, when you go back, you always come back with 20 vials and 20 bullets. That's it.
But I
that's
guess
that's literally
well,
all you would have to do. And I would be like, you know what? The rest I can live with.
I guess so. I think in my world where there's just a lot of blood vials, I think the system is in general like more forgiving because you can hold 20 of them and you're getting more all the time. So I actually think in the world where there's just more, they could have had the best of both worlds. I do get what you're saying that like if you're losing a bunch of them because the game is hard for you, it's sort of backwards in how the game is treating you. But I just think they should have just put a lot more and it would have been fine for those people too, hopefully.
Yeah, one thing I kind of mentioned offhand is just like the weird because it was made in parallel with Dark Souls 2 and a different team and blah blah blah. So like they didn't really like learn lessons or take feedback from these games. So like some weird stuff comes forward that like got fixed in a game that came out before a previous like one of their entries.
Yeah.
And that to me is one of them because again, I think the Estus system is like there's the weird bonfire kindling and stuff in Dark Souls 1, but fundamentally from a spawn point, a healing that you know you're always going to have a minimum number of and you know how much it's going to heal you and you can upgrade that over time. That to me is like de facto you can't make a better healing system for any scenario. It works for every type of player all the time. And it's just that to me is it's like the one really like why of all the progressions they had, why this one? You know?
Well, I think they wanted to make I think them giving you 20 was like, well, let's make it more forgiving. But they were like, we can't give you 20 all the time. Is my thought on why is because the Estus system is better, but they want to give you only 5. They don't want to give you 20. You know?
Well, right, yeah, but you know the vials also heal a smaller percentage of your health, right?
Yes.
And so I guess it's the 20 thing. I kind of see where you're coming from, but you get to a point in the game where you go, okay, well now I have stockpiled. Oh, I don't even. Will it show me that here? Oh, there's the other ones. But like the stock that you can have for some of those is like 600. So once I'm sitting on 400 in stock and I'm regularly touching enemies, every time I sit down, I am getting up with 20 blood vials.
All right.
Every
Hold
time.
on.
You know?
This chick needs her mom. I'll be right back. She needs
Okay.
to feed.
Yeah. All right. I'm on the. Oh, I gotta go back. I missed some stuff. I didn't find the Bloodborne Coverman set, even though I already have it. I'm gonna go back. The sewer runs like crap for some reason. I don't know why. It probably looks terrible on stream. So I'm sorry? Question mark. We'll have to see how it looks later. Probably not great now. This is a giant evil pig. I'm gonna stick my arm in his butt. Oh, no I'm not. And he didn't have to see any of that. He didn't have to see me fail. Oh, anyway. Here. I was using it before and I somehow didn't mention it. This is the best Moonlight Greatsword in all of FromSoft's games, both aesthetically. It's got the coolest pop-off moments in the game, and it's got a very unique moveset. And just like always, it shoots laser beams. What more could you want? Well, and it looks cool. I didn't say that part, I don't think. Maybe I did. No, I don't go up this ladder. I go back this way. We need to go find the Bloodborne Hunter set and become the Bloodborne Hunter. Turn into the cover man. Become Mr. Bloodborne himself. You know, everyone, even though this is a dark and dreary game, and it's a dark and dreary time, I hope you're doing alright, you know? I just feel like more people should hear that more often. So, if you haven't heard that today from somebody, now you have. Alright. Let's get out of this here sewer. And go to another layer of the sewer. Uh-oh. Oh. The game crashed.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not.
Are you
joking.
for real?
No, I'm for real.
Talk about a horror show.
Hang on. Hold on. We should be back. Okay.
I love that I did for some reason, I did the little bass part and you did the
I,
melody perfectly.
you know what's really funny is in my head, normally if I'm humming that to myself, I do exactly the way that you did it, where it starts off with the melody, and then as soon as the bass line hits, I switch to the bass line.
We weren't synced at all, so it's insane. But if we
I
are
can't wait
synced,
for that to sound horrific in the VOD. It's gonna be the worst.
uh,
All right, let's see if the game crashes when I go up this ladder again.
all right, here's the third. There's the third thing I think I really like. I don't know if this is. I don't know. This feels like maybe. I don't know if it's a tinier gripe, but like in this first area, like all the enemies except for one, they just like melt when you hit them. Like you break their animation. Like that's one thing that like. I mean, I know about Elden Ring now is it's like, oh, it's poise and two-handing and how your stamina and whatever. But like that's one thing that I couldn't wrap my head around in Dark Souls is first is like, well, some of the enemies you hit them like these crows and their animation breaks and then you can keep hitting them. And if you can do that, then they're like not really a threat at all. So yeah, I just like that more of the enemies in this game. It's like if you can get the jump on them, their poise breaks and you can just smack them.
Yeah, and that's part of like the whole like everything pushes you to be more aggressive. The rally mechanic, your speed, blah blah blah. There's no equip load anymore. Speaking of all that type of stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
God.
So there's a tire, and it does technically have stats, but none of the defense stats in any direction are super like really strong. There's not like a heavy set that's got better defense really like technically yes, but not in a meaningful way that's going to be like, oh, I changed my build, it's fashion born really, which is why I'm wearing this.
It's you find a better hat somewhere and you go, oh cool, I'm going to pop this hat on and now my defense is better.
Yeah, but mostly it's, oh, I found a hat and I think it's cooler than the one I have, I'm going to put that one on. That's really ultimately what it is. It's not.
Thing number 4, and you argued with me with this, that you said they're essentially the same, but I think the simplicity of the runes in this game is like an infinite improvement from Elden Ring, and again, it's because there's like less build crafting and stuff. It's like you find there's like a handful of runes that do a handful of things. They increase your health or your stamina, or they help your gun or whatever. And there's really only like 5 categories to choose from. So like again, you're like, all right, I got this rune that gives me like +5 health, and that's great. By the way, I never found this lady. I didn't know you were trying to find her mother. And then
this is Gascoigne's daughter.
Oh my God, really? What a bummer.
There are 2 daughters. Here's the thing. Don't do this quest. If you do this quest, bad things happen to the daughters. It sucks.
Who's the mom?
So if you're in the Gascoigne boss fight area and you hop down and you like find the item or whatever, there's like a lady sitting on top of the roof. She's dead.
Okay.
Because Gascoigne killed her. Because he's a beast.
And I got, by the way, in my head, I was like, oh, Tommy was like, oh, there's the one bad NPC in Bloodborne. Well, dude, every NPC in this game is awful that you find. None of them have anything good going on.
That's not entirely true. But yeah, a lot of bad things happen. Bloodborne might have the NPCs that overall get it the worst. In the grand scheme of things. It's really not good.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. There's some really, really you didn't even find Ariana, so you didn't even see that one.
Ariana Grande?
No.
I got her newest album on Laserdisc.
No. Laserdisc? Oh my God. Do you think anyone listening to this in any universe knows what a laser disc is?
I don't even know what a laser disc is. Genuinely.
I was not expecting that. I thought you were very earnestly making a specific joke.
No, I don't know what
That's
laser disc.
incredible. That's so funny. Okay. Okay.
I think my only all right, this is my only gripe, I think, of Bloodborne over the rest of the Dark Soul games. You ready?
It's not long enough.
He got so quiet.
It's not long enough. He wishes there was more Bloodborne.
Well, no, not really. Actually, I think it's like the perfect size.
I
No,
agree,
it's
actually.
that I don't think I've ever said this on any of our Elden Ring episodes, but one of the things that I can't believe I love and appreciate about all of these games is that when you kill an enemy, there is an audio cue that goes off, which is so helpful because when you're in like the thick of battle and you get to the very, very tiny end of their health, you want to know for sure that they're dead. And in this game, it's just like too hard to hear most of the time. Like, and that has to do with something about the foley of the weapons, but like I was always like, man, I can't hear the audio cue the way I want to in Elden Ring and Dark Souls. That's like a hugely helpful feature
Here's
that I noticed before this game, by the way. I noticed that years ago. I just don't think I've ever said it.
yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I think they've literally always done it.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree. I'm with you on like, I know you don't like shooty games, but really good hit confirm sounds for like headshots or whatever is also like one of those like primo game feel plus
Yeah.
good player feedback. You did what you actually intended to do type of things. It's really really good. And honestly, I'm with you, especially when you're swinging at a bunch of dudes and maybe you lose sight of one guy on camera, and maybe you didn't visually confirm that he died, but you heard the souls fly at you. Basically, you know, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't have to worry about that guy anymore. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
No, I
it's
just
real good.
like the shink, the like shink that
Yep.
that like death sound.
Yep.
Not even like the souls flying at you. That's a different
Oh,
sound.
oh yeah, yeah. No, here's the thing. I agree. I think I have the fondest memories and thoughts of specifically Bloodborne's like menu sounds and stuff. You know, like it's good in all
Interesting.
the games, but I think I like Bloodborne's the most. You know.
Yeah, I will say, like, I think overall, I don't want to say if I like this game or Elden Ring better. I think it might be hard to say, but I think I like this game's combat so much more than Dark Souls and Elden Ring. Elden Ring has this beautiful open world, and like Dark Souls 3 kind of has something similar. Like this game's level design is great, but it's a bit more focused. But the thing I really noticed immediately is I was like, "Oh, running around Yarnum and fighting dudes is like fun. It's not like terrifying and scary," which is funny cuz you'd think it would be terrifying and scary, but like Elden Ring for me, when I first played it, like I was like, I'm kind of scared to find a catacomb or a new area because it's just a bunch of things that want to kill me and I don't want to fight any of them. Whereas this game, I was just like, I want to fight everyone because it's so fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's again, I think partially though, like your initial experience with Elden Ring, you weren't as familiar with the combat, so the concept of combat in those games in general was just more daunting. Then Bloodborne gives you more tools. I'm with you on numerically, it's just easier. The enemy movesets are not as complicated, and yours are more complex. So it ends up like grand scheme of things, I'm with you when you know what you're doing. This game is decidedly easier than the other games because you just have so much more mechanically at your disposal. And
And
not
there's like,
in
there's
the like, oh, I built the spell casting thing that lets me, one shot stuff from a distance in Elden Ring. Like that's not really what I'm talking about. It's like a more casual uh build, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that's just because like there's a little bit less to know. Like you said, Elden Ring can be easier if you have like a crazy two-hand build that lets you bully people or like a cool magic build. But like you don't have to know that in Bloodborne for it just to be easier. It kind of just is easier
Yeah, there's just less stuff for you to
to learn and know.
yeah, because there's fewer things for you to actually like engage with in the grand scheme of things, you will get to know those things better. And because there's fewer of them, they made sure that those fewer things just they are more effective. I kind of like the lean approach personally. Like I love Elden Ring and it being a big open world explory thing. Like the structure of that game kind of, lends itself to the way that they did it. But if I'm just thinking combat and stuff like in a vacuum, I'm with you on I would pick Bloodborne's over any of the other games. Now that said, if you just gave me trick weapons in Elden Ring, I mean, there's already the sidestep and Bloodhound Fang, Bloodhound Stash, whatever it's called, Bloodhound Step, something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it's like that's kind of my only real big gripe with Elden Ring in general is like because the world ballooned and your potential as a player ballooned, they were so intent on keeping the challenge intact for everybody, even if you do a million billion things and build like some crazy builds. So like that game it's hard even if you've done a million things. It's not really the case with like Breath of the Wild where like the more you explore and the more you do stuff, the game gets easier. It's like almost a necessity in Elden Ring. And they were like, we know everyone's going to do all this stuff, so everything just got like ramped up way way harder. Whereas this game they just know because it's more focused, it can be less challenging on the whole because it's
Uh-oh.
more focused. I got to change the baby. Fight the cleric beast and talk
I
about him.
am. Oh, I just got smashed in the ground by the cleric beast.
BRB.
All right.
BRB. Don't
Yes.
get killed by him. I believe in you.
I'm. What would be really funny is if I actually do die to the cleric beast. I hope I don't. It'll be embarrassing. Get the visceral. There we go. That's what I needed. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, here's a cool boss. And I like the big bosses in Bloodborne a lot more than I do in the other games because getting all up in there with the ability to dash and the rally mechanic really incentivizes you to get in there. That's normally actually the best way to deal with a lot of the big guys in the other games is just get in there and make it so that it's hard for them to use certain attacks and know the ones that they are going to use. This gives you so many more tools to just deal with those guys in general that you got to be crazy to not get in the way that I'm getting in, and it's really good, and you can do a lot of damage, and you can stagger big boys, and he's down on the first try. And then you get... Oh, it didn't give me the badge because I already have it. I forgot. That's how that works. Anyway, bosses in Bloodborne are not nearly as complicated as bosses in Elden Ring. We'll definitely talk about Margit / Morgott / Glowy Hammer mcgoo once Andy's done changing that baby, because that boss, who I will regularly call like, hey, this is the tutorial. If you can beat this guy, you can just beat the rest of the game because you understand how it works. That guy has a more complicated moveset than any enemy in this game times 2. It is nuts how much simpler the boss encounter designs are in this game. And in retrospect, like, I knew they were simpler, but I didn't even realize how much less stuff there is that any boss can do to you. It's almost more like Demon Souls when it comes to the design, because Demon Souls is very few straight up fights. I can think of 2 that are difficult straight up fights in Demon Souls, and almost all the other ones are either some kind of puzzle or it's got some kind of very specific gimmick, and then once you figure that out, you've pretty much kind of solved the fight. And that is fine. It's not my favorite version of their boss design, mostly because I think FromSoft's combat design is absolutely stellar and excellent, and they've had it on lock for a really long time. Their bosses, in retrospect, going back a little bit, were not nearly as good as they are now. And now they are so good at it that they're wildly complicated and off-putting to a lot of people. So there's sort of the double-edged sword of, quote-unquote good design, and then what does that really mean for the players in the grand scheme of things? And Andy and I have said it at least to each other and probably on the podcast before. The end of the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC is as far as you could ever take a combat system like Elden Ring's and still have it be even remotely enjoyable. I would argue that last fight is not fun in almost any capacity, at least when I played it pre-nerf. it was just kind of garbage the whole time. um, he had attacks that were actually I think it was a frame perfect dodge was the only way to actually do it. And you had to have the spacing correct, and if you didn't do it that way, you were gonna get hit, and it was like his most basic attack. It was really not a good time. Andy played him after the nerf and still was like, yeah, I think it took me like 50 tries and I didn't have fun. This game never gets there. There is one boss fight that I'm definitely going to want to talk with Andy specifically about that I really, really, truly, deeply dislike a lot. Actually, there's a couple of them. And we only talked about one of them. So, all right, he better oh, he's coming.
Chick is grounded,
He's here. He said she's grounded.
dude.
Hey, he said, hey,
Like,
don't move.
I'm doing a show about Bloodborne. Like, don't take a poop and need a diaper change at this moment. What's wrong with you?
Sometimes you gotta go.
know
You know,
better.
what if I had to poop right now and I hit the be right back screen? You know.
Would never forgive you for that.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I just hit it and then there was a be right back screen for like 5 minutes?
Yep.
Oh God.
I don't know. Is there? Did I know there was a ladder over there by those dead guys?
Probably
Up
not.
here to the left. I don't know if I know the behind right there. Did I know that? Go down that. I think I.
I don't know if you did. I know where this goes.
It goes down to like the sewers where like all the pig boy is, right?
Yeah. Yep. Precisely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way that the side quest plays out is eventually you can, like, after you beat Gascoigne, because you can find the brooch and give it back to her. And she's like, oh no, my mom's gone and my dad's gone, blah, blah, blah. And then you can be like, oh, there's the cathedral ward, blah, blah, blah. They will try and get to the cathedral ward, but this is the path they try and take. And if you come and you fight the pig, it drops their ribbon and it's covered in blood. It's kind of a bummer.
Real bummer.
Yeah.
It's a real bummer.
It's a real bummer because Bloodborne is regularly a real bummer. So yeah, I don't do that side quest. I let them go and stay crazy in their house while the world ends, you know?
You know, I want to say, you're gonna remember this memory. I think, this is a Mr. Woe's memory, so I hope you remember what I'm about to reference. But
Oh boy.
there was I forget the name of this composer, but there was a composer. The cat is licking the microphone. There's a composer.
I don't think I heard it, but that's funny.
No,
Anyway,
never
go
mind.
ahead.
She's trying to bite it because
Ah.
it's like textured. Anyway, there's this composer that I can't remember the name of. I could probably look him up, but he does like this higher level like wind ensemble music, and a lot of it's like jazzy and fun, but also it's like kind of like very like spooky and atonal. Some of it, and I remember
Eric Whitaker.
No, Eric Whitaker makes like really beautiful,
Yeah.
like gentle music. But I'll never forget like Mr. Woe's. I remember he must have come like during a free period or something where like we were playing or talking about one of those pieces that's like a like really horrifying. And I remember him saying, I'll never forget it. He was like, God, what must it be like in this guy's head? Like, imagine waking up at 2 a.m. being like, inspiration struck, and then going down and writing down that horrifying melody. And like that, I thought about that so much in Bloodborne. Like, what must it be like to live in these poor people's heads that you're like, I've got a great enemy design, and you go draw this horrifying nightmare.
That's the thing. You could just say that like Bloodborne might be the best set of examples, but like you could say that, oh, camera's inside me. That was terrible. You could just say that about like their boss designs in general, because it's like you walk in and you're like, all right, let's see this boss design. And you're like, oh my God, that's really cool. But like, what is that? Just over and over
and like
again.
that's something I've always thought about. Yeah, that's something I've always thought about with these games, but this game in particular is just like, oh my God. do I have any more gripes or things? I think those were my big gripes. The runes, the weapon design, it's just the singular focus of this game in general is awesome. Like as I'm watching you play it, I'm like, I'm definitely going to replay this game next year, like
I
without
was
a
gonna
doubt.
say, like, that's part of why I played this one so many times, because it's like you get a little bit of space from it, and it's just like, it'd be cool to do another playthrough of Bloodborne, because it's not a crazy time commitment. It's not, it's almost it's so crazy to call this a comfort or vibes game for me, but it
Oh,
is.
it
It
so
just
is.
it
So
just
is.
is, and it's because of just how, like you're saying, how cohesive it is. I'm in on everything it does, everything it has to say, the combat system, you name it, I'm all about it. So I just I don't know. Despite the fact that it's goopy and all this other stuff, it's still really just over the top. One of the most like engaging. I don't want to. The word immersive has been kind of run completely into the ground. It's not that I'm like, oh, I'm inside Yarnum and blah blah blah. It's like, no, but I believe in this world and what it is. You know what I mean? Despite the fact that it's really confusing and doesn't quite make total sense, the confusion and all the insanity of this world just is believable to me in a way that I guess I never really expected from this kind of game. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes
It
sense.
does. It does. And it again, I think maybe that comes a lot from the fact that this game at the beginning, the horror is so grounded in what you would like expect to be typical horror. Like maybe that's why it's a little bit more believable before it goes off the rails, but yeah, I'm with you. Like the, I don't want to say the characters because I don't know the characters as well, but like sort of like all of the weird horrifying nonsense that like characters are doing, like you were saying something about big fluffy Larry boy or whatever his name is. Lawrence, is his name Lawrence? I think it is.
Big fluffy Larry boy. Here's the worst
Lawrence.
part. Larry and Lawrence, yeah, that is how that would work. Yeah. Larry
Yeah.
the first vicar.
Like I know you were spouting some stuff about his like lore that I know nothing about, but like in a world where you're like, well, Larry did some terrifying nonsense that was like unspeakable. It's like, well, if this is the world you're in, to me it's pretty believable that you might do some like unspeakable eldritch stuff.
Yeah. So I guess to if somehow you don't know this about Bloodborne, what Andy was referring to with like everything being like really grounded horror, we're running around, I'm fighting werewolves. It's very like Victorian era horror. I'm wearing fancy clothes. It's like, okay, this is an aesthetic of horror that exists. And that's what all the marketing and everything was too. And the game was originally called Project Beast internally, and that was what got leaked to the public. So everyone's like, oh, it's going to be like a beastie horror game. And then you get here and you read this note, and it says, the Birkenworth spider hides all manner of rituals and keeps our lost master from us. A terrible shame. It makes my head shudder uncontrollably. And you're like, what does that mean? What could that possibly mean?
That's what
And
I think anytime I read anything in any of these games, but go on.
yeah, but I mean, even for these games, right? Like you read something and it is like, what in the world could any of this actually be getting at? And then partway through, there's actually a couple points in the game where it might be your first encounter. You look, you're like, is that an alien?
Yeah, yeah.
What's an alien doing here? Is this
Is that a
what are we
Cthulhu boy?
doing? What's happening? What is going on?
Does that
And
man have a proboscis?
yeah, yeah, it's like that. It's like that one's like that's just a mind flayer.
Yeah, yep.
Uh-oh. And then people start talking about eyes on the inside, and it is eventually revealed that actually the reason for all this, the Victorian werewolf horror thing ended up being really incidental. The whole blood thing they were doing was actually the blood of what they call the Great Ones, which is a direct corollary to H.P. Lovecraft's Old Ones, these eldritch beings beyond comprehension. Because
Cool.
somebody found the old blood, as they were calling it, and started using it because they were like, this is probably cool and fine. And as it turns out, it was not cool or fine at all.
Not even a little bit.
And everyone decided that they needed to try to race to transcend humanity. And that went a lot of different it went more bad ways than you would think. It went so
It
many
went
bad
more
ways.
bad ways than good ways.
Yeah, it went so many bad ways that there are multiple different schools of different people trying to transcend humanity, all with different horrifying results. So,
Awesome. That's so metal, dude.
yep. Yeah, that's kind of it's really crazy how bonkers and off the rail it goes. And here's the thing, I know you
bro.
didn't really engage with you never really engage with the plot or the text of what's happening in these games, and that's fine. That's not necessarily the primary.
I didn't even find this guy. I walked right by it.
Yes, you walked you did not even know that one of the only truly kind NPCs in the entire game even
Here's
existed.
the thing, though. Okay, look, you can understand how I might miss it once, all right? And you might be like, well, why? Go walk up to that lamp. You might
the way that it works is you get to here and you get a cutscene.
Yep.
And then I think it puts you here.
Yep.
Where
but the problem is
you can see his hand in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, but if you're not really looking and being like, I'm gonna turn the camera and look around, yeah, you can absolutely just walk right past him.
That's less the problem. More the problem is every time you spawn in this location, you're facing that way.
Oh yeah.
Like away from him at the lamp. And you would never have to turn around to go back through that area, because if you wanted to go to where Father Gascoigne is, you would just spawn there instead. So I never once went backwards through this area.
You know what's really funny? You say that. So it puts you right here and it points you this way, just like you said. I don't know what the stream delay is for you.
I'm a genius.
What's really funny is I'm pretty sure. So I can also warp from here. I'm pretty sure if you try and go to the tomb, it doesn't let you. Oh, I was wrong because maybe I didn't move forward. So you didn't do the unless I'm about to get bopped right here. No, okay. There is a side quest event that happens at this point, and at a certain point when that happens, you actually can't come back here, and so you would need to go from the cathedral ward and walk down, or come from the other way. So I'll probably get there by the time. But I don't know how much longer you have, because I don't have as many restrictions. But you have a little baboo, and a family. So there's that. But yeah, I forgot how I. Oh yeah, we were talking about this guy, and then I was talking about the NPC side quest. That's how we got there.
You were talking generally about how I engaged with the lore.
Oh yes. I was gonna segue to because we never really truly talked about, because you were like, yeah, I don't know why you liked the old hunters as much as you did. One, I think it's got the better, like this weapon right here. It's got some of the better designed trick weapons. I like the boss fights in the DLC a lot. And also what it does with the story and the plot and the lore and everything is really cool. But that last piece, that's the one thing, like, well, Andy's not going to care about that one. So
yeah,
I didn't. Fine.
I mean, I liked the DLC. I'm glad I played it, but it kind of I don't know. It kind of irked me. I mean, I really liked the level design. Like, that was the coolest piece. Is you go to all these neat areas, like the fisherman area, and
that's the crazy part is, like, where I'm standing right now, it's just a complete modification of here, and then it's an entirely new area. Like, not even kind of the same,
Yeah, I like that aspect of it, but I didn't like that there were all these really annoyingly difficult hunters that I actually may have not minded if they didn't respawn every time, but those enemies really annoyed me.
Oh, weird. Oh.
The
Oh no. Oh, Wakada.
Shh,
Oh,
shut up.
wait. Oh, wait.
I
Oh.
never even saw that when I got that item before. Like that never happened to
Oh,
me
that's right. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. Here, how many? I forgot how many inside I had.
because I never stood right there.
Whatever.
Uh, but yeah, I don't know. A lot of the enemies were like they were like too. I don't want to say too hard, but they were like hard in a way that annoyed me. 'Cause they were like boss encounters that you really had to like take on one on one.
Mm.
Come to think of it, I can remember the area you spawn in, and I can remember the fish village, but I don't really remember like what other areas. I remember there's Larry. Oh yeah, and then there's like the underground tomb past Larry, kinda.
I mean, you explicitly mentioned to me the research hall, and that's the other big part.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
liked the
because the
research
research. Yeah,
hall.
here's the thing. You just told me that you liked all the areas.
No, I didn't like the fish area,
Oh.
and I didn't like the area you spawned in. I liked I liked the way they looked visually, but I didn't love the level design. Didn't blow me away, and a lot of the enemies like really annoyed
Hey,
me.
was that guy there
Whole
before?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's probably fine.
he was. We couldn't see him though. But
He's probably
now
he's
I can see enough of the Eldritch Truth to know that the thing that was happening before was actually this guy, and he's been here the whole time.
And I will say, like, just in a general sense, I like kind of love the idea that like I don't want to say this necessarily applies to real life. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm going a bit of on an allegory here.
Oh,
But
here we
like
go.
the
Yeah,
idea,
let's do it. Say a thing that I would say, Andy.
the idea that the more you know, like the more crazy you might go, and like the more depressing and horrifying the world might be, is like kind of just an idea like I resonate with. And maybe that just has to do with like getting older. It's like you get older and I don't know, you have like a friend that I don't know, just for example, like they always talk about like capitalism and the horrors of capitalism,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
hypothetically
because
speaking.
it is absolutely pervasive in every layer and level of all of our lives, especially mine.
Uh,
So
But on a horror
that
level,
guy
it's a
sounds pretty
cool
smart.
idea. It's not really. It's a cool it's a cool idea that like there's horrifying stuff everywhere. You just didn't have the insight to see it. That's like a really great concept for any game or horror movie or whatever it is.
Well, that's fun
But
to
like
go ahead, keep
oh,
going.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say fundamentally, like the reason why I'm super with you, right? And game, movie, whatever it is like it's one of the coolest and purest expressions of the fear of the unknown, like going for the Lovecraft horror thing. Like the end of the Mountains of Madness is the guy is in the plane and he looks out the window and he sees what you assume is some sort of elder god or whatever it is, and he just it fractures his mind just trying to perceive it. um the insight being like a mechanical way of kind of showing that sort of thing happening and having an actual impact. Like there's a status called frenzy in this that makes your head pop with blood, and you lose 70% of your maximum health when it pops. And the higher insight you have, the more susceptible to frenzy you are, because it's easier to make you crazy because you know more eldritch truths. And then it also becomes a currency that you can trade as well. Trade away your knowledge for goods. It's
Yeah.
it's really, oh, it's so good, dude. It's so cool.
Yeah. It's a really neat concept. And like what's even cooler about it I think is that it's like this understated subtle thing. Like the game doesn't ever point it out to you. Like just the fact that we're talking about it and it's sort of like known lore about you just kind of discover it like is even cooler, I think.
Yeah. Well, here's so I'm gonna piggyback kind of off of like what you were saying, just about, yeah, this does kind of apply to real life. I've been kind of toying around with the idea in my head for a while, and I'm now a lot more firm in my belief. Um, it's not necessarily like an eldritch truth kind of thing. I
Tommy
think
loves capitalism.
no,
That's where this is.
this isn't. I mean, capitalism definitely didn't help this part. It's probably the reason it got as bad as it did. But we all have access to all of the wealth of human knowledge in all of our pockets at any given moment. Did that make us smarter? Did it make us more knowledgeable? Did it make us better at doing stuff? No. I think the only thing that everybody being able to see everything all at once did was make us all really horrible and selfish and stupid and really loud about it. And so to me, the internet and our constant connection to it is the insight, and it's not good. That's how I feel about it. We weren't meant to do this. We were evolved to know like 100 people for like our whole lives, and now I can hear the thoughts of millions on any topic for any reason at any moment. And that's I don't think that's like a good thing. You know, I don't
See,
think that's good.
that's interesting because to me, I think as annoying and problematic as the internet is, I think it's less, in my perspective, like the knowing of all these things and more the like the corrupted way that like information spreads and the way people talk about it is more problematic. I think knowing more about the world inherently doesn't have to make us suffer more, but I think like the way people like financially benefit from like spreading lies, like that type of thing. You know, like they
Oh, you mean the
say
capitalism part
I,
that I was trying
right, the
to not get
capitalism. Yeah.
into.
No.
But that is what it is, you know.
You can't,
So,
yeah, but like I think that like the way people are incentivized and the way information spreads is more the problem than it is that we knew everything. I think if we knew more about the world in a more pure way, we wouldn't necessarily have to suffer from it. I don't think it's like a natural consequence of knowing more.
oh, that here's the thing that I agree with in terms of the tools that we have and the things that do kind of put all that stuff out in the world could absolutely be used to a different and better end than it is right now. I guess I just think that even if we didn't have external forces, you know, profiting off of us and pushing content to us in the way that we did, I still think the idea of social media on some level would exist, and we would all still try and shout everything that we think about everything at everyone all the time. But I
Yeah.
also think that if we didn't have the finger on the scale of people profiting off of our desire to do that, that eventually we'd be like, this is annoying and I'm tired of it. And we just wouldn't do it anymore. You know?
Yeah.
At a certain point, we'd be like, this is dumb. But you know,
But I guess
here
all
I
of
am
that
talking into a microphone on the internet about it. So
I guess
whatever.
I guess all of that, yeah, I guess all of that is to say that um like even if you don't get into the deep lore of like what literally happens in this game, like there's a lot that you can like connect with and pull from. Like I didn't even really fully realize that that was something I appreciated about this game and like something that I like was interesting to me until I said it out loud, but I think it did sink in. So thematically there is cool stuff going on, whether you like are really thinking about it or not. It's just a really rich game lore wise.
Yep. Yeah, I super agree with that. Yeah, like I don't I don't know how much you end up wanting to know or care about the actual explicit text, but like the layers of so the hub world we were in before is called the Hunter's Dream. At the end of the game, you're given a choice where you're implied to be, you know, wake up from the dream by being executed and accepting your death. You can fight back against that. You go to different nightmares, and all of these the I think the most coherent theory, and it's still not even super well defined, is that they're all kind of different like layers in whatever kind of maybe weird dreamscape that all this may or may not exist in. What is actually real world, quote unquote, is really vague. I don't know if we're ever in the real world, quote unquote, at any point in the game. And I don't know that the ending that quote unquote sends you to the real world actually sends you to the real world or not. You know, it's all confusing and up to interpretation. But like, if I were to, From Stuff's really good at having the like, hey, you can look out over the landscape kind of thing, just like this. There's a few key points like in the nightmares where if you get to a certain area and you look up or you look down, you see a different nightmare or whatever it is than the one that you're in, and it is also a playable area that you walked around in. Like the DLC does that too. Do you remember in the DLC? Did you find the pizza cutter weapon? The
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So right before that, do you remember getting smacked in the head with a shell, and then a white gooey boy crawled out of it?
No.
Oh, okay. So that happens. Like a like it seems like a missile from the sky, just like dive bombs you, and you'll get smacked with it. And I think it just like knocks you down just like a tiny bit of damage or whatever. But then like one of the like gooey white weirdos who worships the orphan crawls out of it, and you're like, what the heck? Where did that come from? But if you look up, like where the astral clock tower and everything is in the fishing hamlet's above you. So it fell out of that layer into the hunter's nightmare at that point. It's weird. It's very strange. Whoa. It's super cool. I like it a lot. And do I need all the explicit explanations for how all that works? No, because you know what? It's cooler not knowing all of it.
It's just cool, yeah.
It's way cooler having all the holes exactly where they are because they are deliberately placed. And that's another thing, like FromSoft's storytelling and world building has always kind of been that. Even before they were like, what if we did a Lovecraft game? Like, it's almost weird that this wasn't the first one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do. It's still even now, like with Elden Ring being like this amazing, like wonderful game that's like shattered everyone's expectations. This sort of does feel like the one that crystallized it. It feels like the one where everything came together.
I think I kind of agree with that. And you know what the craziest part to me is, like, I've made jokes before, but now that you've actually played Bloodborne, but that like Elden Ring, it's big Dark Souls, slightly more colorful than usual Dark Souls, and then you go, oh, it is also Bloodborne, because that game's plot is entirely about a number of different eldritch beings vying for control of the lands between. That's what the entirety of Elden Ring's world is basically just a Bloodborne plot. And it's, oh god, it's so cool. It's so good. I'm so glad FromSoft makes games, dude.
Yeah. I'm glad I played this game. Like, I definitely, not only do I want to play it again next year, I think we should talk about it again next year. I think like
I would do an annual Bloodborne episode forever. This game is 10 years old, dude. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
It's crazy.
And I don't know. I still like am wondering why the itch came to me for this game when it did. Like, it's weird that I had a baby and then was like, let's play this game. I think, I don't know, having a baby is such a horror show that, like, I think we might have talked about this a little bit, but like, I don't know, my tolerance for horror, I don't watch horror stuff. Like, even though my tolerance has improved, I don't love horror stuff, but there is something to just like, you know, like this game, like all horror, like to me is like kind of cartoonish now. Like this horrifying alien boy and scary mask man, like those aren't really scary to me because like the stuff in my real life that is like scary and is like,
this is exactly what we were talking about the other day. Yeah, because if I saw that guy and he was like, oh, and pointed his spooky cane at me and was like, he's gonna kill me, everyone I know would be like, we gotta kill that guy.
And like, and it's, I don't know, I think part of it is that I had a baby and have like, not to God, like I think people who don't have a baby might not understand this, but like having a baby and going through like being in the hospital while your wife gives birth is like such a horror show. Like it's just so surreal and like painful and like insane. Like you just can't, I don't know, like I think this game being like as horrifying as it is was like kind of a weird comfort. I don't have a huge desire to watch scary movies now, but this game, it kind of just hit me at the right time.
Yeah, as far as the horror thing goes, I'm generally like a psychological horror kind of guy. I'm super into that. Like we never actually did the mouth washing episode, but mouth washing is much closer to the type of horror that I appreciate because it's speaking to like a human thing more than anything else. It's more about what are the things that are truly scary to us and why is it scary and what is the circumstance that makes us feel terrible because that's not a game about monsters, not literal monsters
Right.
anyway.
It's about people.
It's about people and how absolutely vile and depraved people can be, and also how bystanders who enable those people um, maybe aren't just as bad but play almost as important a role in allowing bad people to do bad things, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I think ultimately that's kind of what you're getting at, right? That's why I like mouthwashing. We never really talked about it super in depth, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Because I think it was tough for me because I like watched some playthroughs of mouthwashing and I watched some stuff about it, but I think you got to like talk to people and really like see all the different stuff going on in mouthwashing to get the full experience. And I don't know, I wasn't up for it, and I'm still not really up for like that type of game in general. I appreciate it, like it's definitely a fascinating, cool game. Um, yeah, but I don't know. I'm more lately want to play stuff that's more mechanically fun.
yeah, I kind of understand you on that, and I'm with you on like I guess horror things never make me go. I really got to go find another horror thing like that. I always stumble across horror and find things that are like somebody found the exact cross section of things that I either like or avoided all the things that I don't care for in this genre or style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bloodborne's in there. The Haunting of Hill House is in there. Mouthwashing's in there. Um, it's a pretty short list for me, but I will say, like, I think I understand people's weird need for like trying to use the phrase elevated horror. I'm like, oh, you mean you watch like something actually good instead of something bad? Like, what are we what are we talking about? You know?
Is that a
uh,
thing people say?
Here's the yeah. People will call movies like Hereditary like elevated horror. I'm like, no, dude. It's because it's not like a garbage like Halloween 5. You just watched a good horror movie for the first time in your life.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like
yeah. Well, it's like a lot of horror is like just meant to be like campy or stupid.
there. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's like I don't. There's a lot of that. That's more like what came out of like a popular thing for a while, right? I don't think that's innately what horror is. I think that's what pop culture turned horror into for a time, you know? But I don't
Yeah.
think that's what is good about like any form of horror, to be honest with you, you know?
Yeah, sure, sure.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. Horror's just it's interesting to me as I'm like turned 32, like that my relationship with horror has kind of changed, at least in the sense that it doesn't bother me the way it used to. It's definitely weird.
yeah, I'm a squeamish individual. Um So
Same.
when it comes to stuff like this, it's fine because like you said, this like the amount of blood that flies out of an enemy here, I'm like, okay, well that's ridiculous. You know, there's nothing that's making that real in my head. But if you ask me to watch, like I'll reveal this about myself. I work in a controlled industry. I've worked in medical devices, and I worked for a place that made cardiovascular implants. I I eventually could watch some of those surgeries they did once it was through a scope and like inside a person. I couldn't really tell that it was a person anymore. But everything before that made me want to pass out on the ground. So, yeah,
Huh.
horror, not really
Yeah.
my thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, man, it definitely it scratched the Halloween itch, and it definitely became like definitely became I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely my favorite to play of the FromSoft games. Like I think I'm going to be real willing to pick this game up in a fast way and just play it in a way that I mean I do that with Elden Ring too, so I'm a psycho, but
Yeah, that's he sends me a picture of him like holding the baby or whatever, and this is after we had already played through Bloodborne and everything. And I was like, "Is that Elden Ring in the background? Are you playing Elden Ring again? What's wrong with you?"
the thing is, I don't want to say I like Elden Ring in spite of the combat, because I do like the combat in Elden Ring like a lot of the time. But like the combat was sort of a hurdle for me to get past, where like the rest of the stuff about Elden Ring I deeply, deeply love. Whereas this game, the combat was just immediately fun and continued to be fun for me the entire way through.
Yeah,
You know?
I wish we could have like the weird pocket universe where like somehow I take like FromSoft skilled Andy and put Elden Ring in front of him for the first time just to see how your initial perception of that game changed, you know, compared to how it is now. Just you know, I don't know if it would change the way you enjoy these games at all. I think you'd probably still land on all the same things because you know you have a pretty good idea of what it is you like and why. But just like
Yeah.
the way that you talk about it because of the order of operations and what would come out of that, you know.
Yeah. It's yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just weird. It's like I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day and a couple things about Elden Ring, but like this feels so redundant. This feels like a thought you've already had and probably agree with immediately, but like the fact Elden Ring is so big with so many varying systems and so much stuff to do, it's actually a miracle that that game has any sort of semblance of balance or difficulty and that it got made at all.
Yep. Yep, and well,
Like
and that's
truly.
why, yeah, and that's why, like we've talked numerous times about, like the end of that game scaling. I think kind of gets a little bit out of control, but yeah, again, I see the decisions that led to why they did it that way. It's like, well, yeah, well, you when you give people that much game to run around in, they're probably going to be pretty strong by the end. So you got to give them some kind of challenge, right? And the fact that I can really only truly point at the end of the game and be like, they probably could have tweaked the balance here a little bit better. It's like, yeah, if that's like the last 5 to 10 hours of your 100 to 150 hour video game, yeah, you did pretty okay. You know,
Yeah.
I'm super with you on like it kind of is a miracle, and I think that stands testament to like these games are kind of built on jank on some level, you know, and yet somehow they do things that other games just always, well, I shouldn't say always, very often fall flat on their face trying to achieve. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think that's just super cool that they keep
And I
managing to do
think
it.
Yeah, and I think too, especially when you put Elden Ring in comparison to something like Bloodborne, is like I don't know, it's easy for me to get mad at a boss when I had like one sliver of health left and I was like one hit away and like think the game is like really hard and unforgiving. But like in a game like Elden Ring, it's only like hard and unforgiving in that like the designers did not design it for me to like have exactly 25 hits before the boss dies. Like there's so many systems and so many ways that you can approach everything that I find it a little bit easier to be less mad about Elden Ring, because it's like, well, but I could come back to this boss in 10 levels. I could try it with a different weapon. I could try it
Yep.
with an upgraded, like, so
That was
it's
the
a little
intent,
bit
right?
easier.
So,
Yeah, it is. And like in that sense, like I feel like if Bloodborne was a lot harder, I would be less forgiving because there really is kind of only one or two real ways to play. But like in Elden Ring, you're like, well, this boss is hard, but there are so many approaches I could take. It might have been easy for someone else with a different build.
yes. Yes. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why they put different types of challenges, right? Because there's like a whole series of bosses for like, all right, well, I'm going to do a mage build. It's like, okay, well, maybe it's good against all these guys, but for all the guys who are resistant to magic, those fights they're not going to be as easy for that guy. But
Yes.
you know, yeah, it's yeah, they give the variety with the intention of this is the thing that is going to give as many varying experiences to as many types of players as possible while still being able to succeed. And
Yeah.
that's it's so good. It's so oh,
Now that
I
said,
never
I
realized from
prefer
this view that you can see the amygdala here. that's
Oh yeah.
really awful.
Yep. Now that said, by the way, I prefer the approach of Bloodborne. Like I don't need the variety, but I do find it easier to forgive Elden Ring when you know the variety and how the game actually works.
Yeah, they're just straight up
Um,
trying to do different things. I'm with you on like if somehow you could give me like an Elden Ring that felt as lean as a Bloodborne, I don't know that that's possible. If in this weird hypothetical that is possible, I would play the crap out of that game, you know? But I just
yeah.
think they're trying to do different things, and I think that's cool, you know?
Yeah, I agree. So I realized I've been saving this story. I never
I
told
was
you this
literally
story yet.
about to be like, you told me you were going to tell me a story, and I never got a story. So
All right. So it was so hard. Get out of here, cat, with your tail in my face,
with your
Brit.
tail and your teeth and you chewing on the microphone,
Okay, so
your FIFAs.
I beat I beat Bloodborne.
I beat Elden Ring again. That's my story.
I beat
I couldn't stop. I just beat it again.
I beat it last night. No. So I beat Bloodborne 2 times straight, back to back, New Game Plus, DLC, whatever.
Oh yeah, you
And
did New
then
Game Plus for the first time too. That's right.
I did. And I actually, before I got Bloodborne, I had started up Elden Ring. I don't know if you remember that, but for maybe like a week, I was plugging away at Elden Ring, just like bouncing around Limgrave and like Southern Limgrave, like doing some little stuff. And so after Bloodborne, I was like, well, guess I'm gonna play a little bit more Elden Ring, and pretty early in the game, right? Like maybe like level 25, I want to say, or something. Um, Maybe even less. I'm not sure. But I was like, I'm gonna bop around. I'll do a couple catacombs. I'm gonna. All right. I'm at Glowy Hammer Magoo's place. Like I hate Glowy Hammer Magoo. I'm gonna try and fight him and get my butt bopped, and then I'm gonna run around and, oh hey, I just beat Glowy Hammer Magoo on the first try. And I was like, God, Tommy's gonna lose his mind when I tell him that I did that.
Remember all those times. Remember all those times. I was like,
I
listen,
hate
man,
Glowy Hammer Magoo.
you say that over and over again. I'm like, yeah, but you know how to beat him now, and you don't think you do, and you're gonna go back there one day, and you're gonna fight him, and you're just gonna do it, and it's gonna be fine, and it happens. And
I
now,
still hate.
and now that's fine. You can still that yeah, but I know that's just a grudge you hold in your heart, and that it's not based on him actually being too hard for you.
Right. And it's like I think part of it, and we talked about this, is like I really like to go in and learn a boss. Like I wanna like learn how to dodge an attack and how to punish him. And with like Glowy Hammer Magoo, I know how to do that with like a couple of his attacks, like his big hammer jump. Like that's the thing I really love, is like, hey, here's a big hammer jump. You got to roll at the right time, and then you can punish the boss. But like, I think me beating him first try is really emblematic of the fact that like I didn't learn how to fight him. I learned more broadly about the system, like jump attacks and how to whatever. And like,
Yes.
that's fine, but it's not as much my preference.
Yeah, and that's where it was the first time we had ever actually kind of finally come to a conclusion on the why thing ever. Because yeah, that was what my interpretation. Like, yeah, I want to learn this fight. I'm like, yeah, but I go into these games and I don't go and I learn fights. I learn how the rules work and what the systems are, and everybody pretty much follows those rules. There's a couple exceptions, you know, and you know the exceptions, and then that's the game. That's how all the games work. You know, I can't jump in
Yeah,
this
and
one, but I got a dodge that's better than my rolls. I got a new parry, and I go, okay, these are my tools, and I just got to get, if I'm good at using the tools, it doesn't matter what the boss moveset is, because I'm gonna beat him, you know.
Yeah, and I think like probably my second playthrough, I probably did learn that, because I remember like one of the things I learned really early, especially with Margit, is that R2s in Elden Ring are like Like they're like holy crap powerful. Like in Bloodborne they're definitely powerful, but I pretty much stick to R1s. But in Elden Ring, R2s are really powerful, especially for the amount of stagger they can do and especially jump R2s. So I
Yeah.
did sort of broadly learn that the second time I beat Margit. Like I remember being like, "Oh, I staggered him and that does a ton of damage," which I wasn't really able to do the first time I beat him. But yeah, I thought you'd enjoy that story.
Yeah, man, it finally happened.
I,
He finally admitted to me that he's good at Elden Ring.
dude, you already know, dude, I'm a butt kicker. I play Elden Ring the best way, which is with a two-hand claymore with blood loss on it. That's the
That's it.
best way to play Elden Ring. You heard it here first, folks.
Claymore household. And oh, he's right here too. I never put together that she's technically looking right at him.
Right at who?
The big boy.
Who's she?
Eileen.
Oh, there's an NPC there?
Yeah, this is where Eileen goes. So when you open all the gates, Eileen goes here. And
Oh,
then
I never saw her
yeah,
there.
and then she goes, "I must warn you, don't go back to where you fought Gascoigne. There's an old hunter and he's crazy, and I'm gonna go kill him." So
That's a bummer.
then I'm gonna sit down here real quick.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then I'm
this
gonna go
really
do that. Yeah.
I feel like it's ironic because I feel like the through line of this podcast when we started it was like, let's talk about Nier Automata, which we haven't done, but the the through line
we're gonna at some point.
the through line of this game that we really have come across is that I've become FromSoft pilled. I've learned
You finally
I've learned
understand
to
that they're the best at everything.
I've finally kind of come around on like why everyone really likes them, and I really like these games. That said, I still don't think I'm as big a fan of them as I mean, I am a big fan of playing them. They don't connect with me like emotionally in a big way, like a lot of people. But I mean, I'm as FromSoft pilled as they get, man. I'm on like my fourth playthrough of Elden Ring or something.
I'm not fully in the like I'm gonna make a video essay about how like Dark Souls cured my depression type of thing, right? But I'm definitely a lot closer to that than you are in terms of like my connection with like what these games are to me, you know? But yeah,
Yeah.
and I think you being like, oh, I get the like it being a comfort game kind of thing. I feel like that's like half of it, honestly. It's
Yeah.
like it's not necessarily, you know, it got me at a dark time or blah blah blah. It's like, no, I just get why someone would resonate with this thing, you know. So
Well, I would say like these games have gotten me in a dark time, like in a big way, but I think the challenge factor is like the thing that has been like the big hurdle, and again still is like the I love the games despite all of this stuff about it, but I do love and appreciate like just a lot, you know, all the things we talked about, the level design, the world, the vibe, but like definitely the vibe of these games is like a huge like cured my depression type thing, because it's just like you get lost in the worlds and they're like comforting to exist in, weirdly.
again, I think that's because again that's where I was trying to figure out a better word than immersive. It's just like, yeah, but you're here and I'm not necessarily role playing where I'm like, oh, I'm the hunter and blah blah blah. I'm just like, I just want to know what the heck is happening here, because everything that's happening seems really cool, you
Yeah,
know.
you just
That
want to bop around, man. It's just fun to bop around.
and even if you don't engage with the plot, like you said, you run around in Elden Ring, you're like, what the heck is that? And that's just like the whole game over and over
Yep.
again. And that could be a landscape, that could be an enemy, that could be anything. You just go, what? So
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and
they're
it's
just really good at doing that, you know.
I think the learning piece that I do really love is like learning the level design is like a huge joy, because um it's just, you know, like learning is that I mean learning is fun. Like I just love that's like maybe my favorite thing about any game is like I love learning like a new system or like a new mechanic or just like learning the layout of the world. And the joy and the reward of learning the layouts of these worlds is so great, because when you go in blind, you get your butt kicked a million different ways because of the ambushes and where enemies are located and stuff. And like learning them makes you feel empowered when you go
Yeah.
through, new game plus in this game is such an empowering feeling.
Yeah, and I think that's true in all of them, because it feels really good to wander confidently around an area that was really confusing before. You
Yes.
know, I'm gonna here's something that I am almost certain that you did not ever try. You probably didn't get one of these weapons, the Beast Claw. You definitely got the Cost Parasite, but you probably never messed with it at all.
I did mess with it actually.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because when you just have the Cost Parasite, it actually just gives you the unarmed moveset.
Okay.
So did you mess with it?
Yeah, but doesn't it do more than that, or no?
It does. If
I thought I was able to get
if
it to do more than that.
if you equip the Milkweed Oath Rune, you turn into a broccoli.
Oh, maybe I didn't do this.
You turn into broccoli.
That's not
And it changes the weapon into something entirely different.
do it. Swing it.
I'm doing it.
Oh, creepy.
And you two-hand it. It's really
Gross.
Yep. So you can turn into a goopy eldritch being if you really want to. This is apparently it's like a really, really strong arcane build type thing. Oh, and the L2 move is this, which give it a second. Which that seems good. You know what I mean?
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, for the sake of getting back to my baby and my wife, as horrifying as
Yeah,
this
hold-
has
hold-
been,
hold on, I got one more for you before you get back to your baby and your wife, because there's another one of these. And then
you better go fast. My wife needed
I'm going.
ibuprofen.
Oh, okay.
She said, "I need ibuprofen. Come save
Okay.
me."
The other one turns you into a werewolf. And it changes the Beast Claw moveset. Oh, and my game crashed. Ladies and gentlemen, the game crashed. Andy's got to go. This has been Bloodborne. Enjoy yourselves. Go do a spooky thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
And go have some. Never mind. I was gonna make a call back to the stupid Baby Ruth joke, but I won't.